I'm sitting here mucking around with bits of wire and bamboo and listening to this interview. Steve Bannon, far-right maniac, interviewing Epstein, the famous Epstein. And what comes across real early in the interview is just how much of a con man Epstein is, the way he drops little fragments of anecdotes and stories and ideas, but they don't go anywhere. You just one after another, several of these things. And after several of them, you realise, hang on, he's not telling a story. He's just telling you how smart he is. Anyway, the thing that's really interesting and the thing where he was smart and he was right is he's talking about the financial world, and he's talking about powerful people, money people want to be able to predict what's going to happen with the markets so they can make money. And the thing is, on Earth, the planet we're on right now, the one where there's gravity and a North Pole and a South Pole, is nothing's actually predictable. But we have pattern recognition. Humans, we love seeing patterns. Like I'm making patterns right here. Okay, spirals. It's pleasing to us, but it's also a weakness. And at the very top, there's one thing that powerful people and super rich people cannot stand, and it's not knowing. It's uncertainty. They're very greedy and they want more and they want to know how to get more. So they're very into trying to predict things, but you can't. You cannot. You can't predict anything. If there's one thing to take away from this Epstein story, is that this guy understood that you can't predict anything, and he went around talking to all of the rich and powerful people, talking to them about money and how to make it. He was really just a con artist, and it was easy to trick them and trick them into giving him money because they're all desperate for this predictability. And he understood there is no predictability. It doesn't exist. It doesn't exist. If this sounds incredibly obvious to you, just have a think about how every government and financial institution on the planet absolutely refuses to deal with the concept of uncertainty and the concept of not knowing what's really going on, the concept that we'll never know what's going on because you just can't keep track of every event on the planet, so you don't know what's going on. That's the fact of it. We pretend we know what's going on. We fucking don't. We should never ever try to predict anything. So the message of Epstein, one of the messages, is to get into the idea of uncertainty. You can feel all this inevitability. Right now in the world, one of the biggest, in the Western world, inevitability. Like inevitably we're sliding into fascism. Yeah, it looks like that. That's what the pattern is telling us. We see the pattern. We see the steps towards fascism. We even see, it looks like fascism is here already. That's cool. That's all common sense. That's smart to think like that. But you can't give in to the idea that any of this is inevitable, because we don't know. So a smart idea is to go about your life as if there is hope that things can change and get better. That's the message that I somehow got from an interview with an incredibly famous pedophile, proving that I also am a fucking genius. Thank you.